I'm so happy to be here today to welcome all of you to the Disney California Adventure Park and to the Blue Sky Cellar. Now, the Blue Sky Cellar was created to give our guests a behind-the-scenes glimpse of all of the magic that we're creating here at the Disneyland Resort. But to tell us a little bit more about the magic, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Vice President of the Disney California Adventure Park, Mary Niven.
Thank you, Nay. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Blue Sky Cellar. You know, it's hard to believe it's been over 3 years since we announced our major expansion here at the Disneyland Resort, and specifically Disney California Adventure. And since then, we've had tremendous progress. In addition to adding a lot of new entertainment like Electronica, Disney Channel Rocks, and Disney Dance Crew, we've also infused a lot of great Disney storytelling in Paradise Pier. Games of the Boardwalk, Toy Story Midway Mania, Silly Symphony Swings, Mickey's Fun Wheel, and of course the spectacular World of Color. We are absolutely in full swing here with the resort expansion, and well on our way to delivering on the promise that we were going to add more family entertainment that was rooted in our rich Disney heritage of storytelling in this very special park. But we're also very excited about the completion of the expansion of the Disney Grand California Hotel and Spa and the enhancements that are currently going on at the Disneyland Hotel. Yes, we are absolutely in full swing here. And you know, as our guests stand in Paradise Park and are waiting for World of Color, they can actually look to their left and see Cadillac Mountain Range rising in the distance. This is an awesome creation. There's going to be a spectacular backdrop for Cars Land when it opens in 2012. Wow, that's next year. Time flies when you're having fun. But we can also see so many more things happening here at the Disneyland Resort. In fact, the guests can look behind them while they're standing waiting for World of Color and see our next big attraction taking shape, Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventures. When this attraction opens in a few months, guests will actually be able to travel under the sea to Ariel's world, to explore her world with all of her friends. Oh, and of course, Ursula will be there too. Today, more than ever, Disney California Adventure offers exciting experiences for our guests that are a full-day experience. But wait, there's more. Because scheduled to open later this year are 2 exciting experiences in the Disneyland Park. One all new, and one that is a return of something that is going to be bigger, better, and bolder than ever before. Mickey's Soundsational Parade is about to step onto Main Street, USA. And Star Tours returns, and it's going to take our guests to all new places with brand new technology and a story that is really deeper and more engaging than ever before. And if that's not enough, it's in 3D. So we have so much going on here at the Disneyland Resort. It's really an exciting time in our expansion. I'm going to turn it back over to Renee, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the park.
Thank you so much, Mary. It's a pleasure having you here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Niven. Mary is absolutely correct. We have so many exciting things happening here at the Disneyland Resort. It's so hard just to choose one because we're always expanding. So, for example, for our Southern California residents, you can purchase a $99 2-day ticket option. This will allow our California residents to come to Disney California Adventure one day and then come back and visit the Disneyland Park on a totally separate day between now and May 14th. And now, I'd like to introduce one of the Imagineers responsible for the beauty that you see here in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Alex Greymon.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for coming tonight. You probably don't know me, but as Renee said, I am Alex Greymon. I am an Imagineer. I've been with Walt Disney Imagineering since about 1998. I'm hoping at least some of you have been able to travel and see some of my work around the world at our Disney parks. Maybe Tokyo Disneyland, you've been to Monsters, Inc. Maybe Hong Kong Disneyland, you saw Fantasyland there. At Walt Disney World, you've seen Toy Story Midway Mania. And here in Disney's California Adventure, I'm going to hope that at least the bulk of you have seen my work here. And that would be Monsters, Inc. attraction and Disney Animation. And of all the things that I tend to list when I talk about the things I worked on, it's Disney Animation that usually gives me the most applause. So I'm hoping to be able to top that now, because I was one of the original concept designers on Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure. And when that attraction opens, I think, actually I just got to walk through that this morning, and it's very exciting. I think it's going to be a lot of people's new favorite Disney attraction. Here at Walt Disney Imagineering, at the Blue Sky Cellar, this kind of, as a concept, as an idea, as a physical place that's around us, it was very important to us as Imagineers, even when we were thinking about the California Adventure Expansion Project from the very beginning. We really wanted to have a place where we could share with our guests a lot of the things that we had planned and that we had up our sleeves, a lot of the magic, a lot of the fun. But as excited as we were for that, we also were very excited about the opportunity and the chance to tell the Imagineering story, the story of the process of what we do here to bring these stories to life. One of the things that we like to do, of course, is not just put up, we like to tell that process story. So one of the things we like to do is not just put up something that would be just a finished, polished concept piece of art or a marketing piece of art. What we'd rather do is tell the story of how we got there. What we could do, I think, is maybe just go around and take a look at some of the things that you've been taking a look at before, while you were mingling, before we came in here. Actually, one of those process stories that I think, maybe I'll start with that. One of the process stories, I think, that would be a really good example of what we do. Maybe you noticed on one of those desks back there, as you were mingling around, I put just six of the dozens and dozens and dozens of concept ride layouts that I did for Little Mermaid. They're all dated, and they are all at the same scale, so it's a very apples to apples comparison. You could start as a guest looking at that very top plan. It would be the very first one that I actually released to our team, and you'll find that it is pretty much nothing like the actual building that we're building right now. But if you worked your way down to that very bottom one that was created probably about a year after that first one, you'll find that with a few tweaks, it actually is very much like what we're building just down the road here. Another interesting process thing that I like to showcase here, you'll find on a lot of the boards, there's a lot of concept art that really isn't about things that we've built or ever will build. It really is more about the inspiration for, or something that led to or inspired the things that we did end up actually building. And then another really fun thing I think you'll find in a couple of places, I found some actual drawings and working drawings and concept drawings that have art directors' markups, little red notes that he or she has made to his designers. And I think that really shows our process story. Our rule of thumb is it's about 4 years from our first idea to opening day. And what you'll find is that rarely, if ever, that first idea looks anything like what you see on opening day. So here at Blue Sky Cellar, we like to kind of focus on that time frame between what happened on that first idea and what happened on opening day. So why don't we start now, and I'll just show you some of the things that we've added here for this new version of Blue Sky Cellar. Hopefully you weren't rushing too much as you came in the building, and you had time to stop and take a look at our new Cars Land overlook panel out on the patio. What that is, we have a kind of an elevated view here at Blue Sky Cellar, so you can look out actually over the construction fence into Cars Land. So we provide kind of a panoramic, abstract, or stylized panoramic view with text that kind of points out a lot of the important landmarks that you're seeing over the fence there in Radiator Springs. The first thing you probably saw as you came into the Blue Sky Cellar was that board that showcases the new Disney California Adventure attraction posters. So Disney California Adventure finally gets to have its own version of attraction posters. That's kind of a tradition that Disneyland's been carrying on since 1956. We're debuting the first 3 of a much larger series right here at the Blue Sky Cellar, and that's Mickey's Fun Wheel, California Screamin', and Silly Symphony Swings. The next board, as you move down, we're showcasing Buena Vista Street, which of course is our new hub and entry area of the park, and currently in the early stages of construction. You'll see some concept sketches, some early concept sketches really, done by the creative director for that area of the park. And there's a bird's eye view of the turnstile area and some concept art on the red car trolley. I wanted to keep that area just a little bit looser because plans aren't finalized, but our initial thinking is that our next show here in Blue Sky Cellar is going to be all about Buena Vista Street. So I didn't want to tease too much, I didn't want to give away too much of the story there. Moving down, we have Paradise Pier, and we're going to kind of wrap up Paradise Pier on this board here with the stuff that's still under construction is opening later this year. The two restaurants and that beautiful outdoor seating area between them, and Goofy Sky School, which is the thematic overlay for the existing Mulholland Madness attraction. That last board you see is the Hollywood area of the park, and you'll see some concept sketches of Hollywood Boulevard with the red car there, and you'll also see the Playhouse Disney building as it's being converted over to Disney Junior. You'll notice a lot of the kind of contemporary graphics are being removed in favor of a more period flavor there. And then on this wall you'd see the glass cabinet. Well, that's pretty near and dear to our hearts because that is very changeable on the fly. We can zoom down from Glendale anytime we like when we see something come through the office that we can just pop it in real quick if it's a little artifact or a little photograph or something. Right now we're showing some stills from the production of our Blue Sky Cellar video shoot. We have an aerial photograph. It was taken just a couple of weeks ago, so it's very current. And we actually left up the aerial photograph that was in there previously from about 6 months ago, and you can really see the difference between what happened in those 6 months. Moving around here into the screening room, you may have noticed that we've updated all the photographs of my fellow Imagineers at work here on the walls. There was nothing wrong with the old ones. They've been here since we opened about 2 years ago. And we've also updated this Walt portrait. We now have Walt walking in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle under construction in 1955. Probably one of the biggest wows that we have here for this redo of Blue Sky Cellar is our Enchanted Artwork. I'm sure everyone had a chance to take a look at that. It is indeed art. You may not know it. There is an actual printed picture in that frame. The very cool effect you're seeing, though, is due to a projection. We project the exact same image back onto itself, very tightly registered. And once you're doing that, that gives you those very vibrant colors that it's almost impossible to get any other way. Once we're doing that projection, though, we've decided you can manipulate that projection any way you choose. And in this case, we've just decided to add some animated magic. There's some very obvious things like the Tower of Terror lightning strike or the World of Color show that goes off. And then there's some very subtle things like the fireflies that dance over in Bugs Land and some of the blinking neon in Radiator Springs downtown area. This process was developed internally at Imagineering. If you're familiar at all with the updates that were installed recently at Snow White's Scary Adventure, this is a very close cousin to that same technique. Actually the last thing I'd like to share with you here in this room, we do have a brand new Blue Sky Cellar video. In normal operation, you probably know this kind of runs continuously, but we have it queued up here for you now, so I say let's roll that.
We call it Imagineering, the blending of creative imagination with technical know-how.
Art means a lot to me, something that'll never be finished, something that I can keep developing.
As long as there is imagination left in the world, Disneyland will never be complete.
What I love about the Blue Sky process is it lets us dream. It lets us come up with wonderful new adventures to take our guests on.
At Imagineering, we think big. And Disney California Adventure is no exception.
I love this.
We are over halfway through this major expansion, and already we are seeing terrific enhancements in Paradise Pier. And of course, the addition of the spectacular World of Color has extended our guests' enjoyment of the park well into the evening.
The architecture of Paradise Pier is really designed to enhance the story. The team did a lot of research about the history of seaside amusement parks, and really none of those places exist the way they did, so it was our goal and our intent to bring back that magic and that nostalgia. The architecture of the Little Mermaid attraction was inspired by the architecture of the Dragon Gorge coaster that existed at Venice Boardwalk, which is an exotic tribute to the past of these seaside parks.
Building design works kind of like a puzzle, and there's a lot of parts that have to fit together. We're able to use the computer modeling process to help us visualize these buildings before they appear in real life. For the last several years, we've been looking at this building in 3D on the computer, and you really don't get a sense of the massive scale that it is.
Thousands of lights around the building are going to light up and be visible all the way across Paradise Bay to make it a spectacular attraction, an amazing gateway to Paradise Pier.
The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, is a wonderful ride through the experience of the film. We have some of the best scenes from that film with really, really great and wonderful songs as well. When you come into Disney California Adventure and you travel down to Paradise Pier, you're going to see this wonderful building that's being constructed. Where we start is in a phase called Blue Sky, where the sky's the limit. And we think about all the things that we can do to bring this movie to life. And we go through a concept design phase, then we start to do design with drawings and things like that. Then we get together with the people that are going to help us build all the different pieces. And then as we produce the pieces, we bring everything together here in the facility and then start to put this whole experience together for the guests. Right now in the construction process, we put a lot of the scenery in. We're waiting on the animated figures, but we've got the props going, and we're also installing the ride system. We're creating this party atmosphere. Then when Ariel, the figures show up, and Eric, and Sebastian, Flounder, all of them, it's going to be like it's the party for them, and the guests have arrived. So the next step is to get them in here and start to program them so this whole place comes alive. What I think guests will enjoy the most about this attraction is they are under the sea with Ariel and all of her friends, and they're going to be so up close that they're going to feel like they're part of this environment. Our ride vehicles are beautifully colored clamshells, and you're actually going to be part of the scene, not just watching it. So coming through this scene, as a matter of fact, you're going to be a colorful shell just like the colors that you see here. And I think that's going to be wonderful because you're going to be right in it. The Little Mermaid is a classic film that I think still resonates with all of us today. So that's why I think it's going to be so exciting to bring this to the guests.
Right now at Radiator Springs Racers, we are doing early ride testing of our prototype vehicle, our first vehicle. It's going really well, and it's so fun to see this car out running around on the track with his little smile on his face. This car, Radiator Springs Racers, we think of it as a giant slot car. So if you look at it, there's a slot in the middle of the track that the car will follow along. It's the same ride system that we have at Test Track at Epcot in Florida. So it's super successful for us. We love it because it makes you feel like you're actually riding on a road. Your tires are touching the pavement. And it is the only ride system that we saw, that we knew, that really felt like a car. And obviously for Radiator Springs Racers, feeling like you're in a car is the most important thing. We opened in 2012. You walk into the park and you can see the steel is coming up. It's going to form Ornament Valley, and it's so exciting. And people are looking in, they're wondering what's going on, and we just can't wait to open it up.
Oh, thanks very much for that. Of course, the last big element here at this redo of Blue Sky Cellar, I barely touched on it, and that is, of course, all that great art and artifacts that we've collected for you from Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure. But rather than my continuing to talk about that, I'd like to bring up, please, my friend, fellow Imagineer, show producer of The Little Mermaid, Lisa Girolami.
So I'm really glad that all of you are here. It's so great to be able to share all this with you. You know, we stay behind closed doors and draw and do all this stuff, but then we get to show it to everyone, and we get to show it to the people that we're doing this for. So we saw a little bit the scenes that are on the right in the film, and the great thing about what Alex has put together here on the back wall is more of that story, more of how we got the building together, certainly some of the early renderings and things, and Alex is right. Early renderings, by the time we get to the final product, we do learn a lot about how we want to place those scenes and how we want to get the attention of everybody and make this story the best that it can be. So for The Little Mermaid, as Coulter Wynn, who is the principal architect, concept architect on our project, and he was talking about on the film, we've got the rendering up there of the exterior of the building. Because again, this is such a big part of Paradise Pier that we wanted to, again, evoke that turn-of-the-century seaside amusement park feel. And it was great because of all this research we did. And he talked about the early influences. Back at the turn of the century, we as Americans were very enamored with exotic locales. So if you look at the building when it's done, you'll see little bits of Asia, Egypt, those kind of places in some of the architecture. So it's kind of a fun thing to take a look and see. And then we've created this grand building. And it is a very, very large building because how do you encapsulate the whole sea? I mean, we're going under the sea, so we might as well get you in a big building. So the great thing, too, is you look at this big mural. If you were in the Blue Sky Cellar before this new renovation, you would have seen a black and white outline of that mural. This is really neat because you get to see the full-size color mural. And what that is the mural when you get onto the vehicle in our load area. That is a 1-inch scale piece that we hand-painted the large mural for the attraction. That 1-inch scale is 86 inches. So that mural is 86 feet in the load area, hand-painted, and it'll blow you away. It is wonderful. And what it does is it places you in Ariel's world. You get the sense that, okay, I know where I am. I'm by Eric's castle. She's out there in the ocean, and I'm starting to get that story. And then you load onto the vehicle. A couple other things I hope that you had a chance to look at, and if not, you got to go see these, is we do have the model, the 1/4-inch model that was the very first study of The Little Mermaid, where we got to figure out where all the scenes are and how the ride vehicle is going to go through. So you can see that early stages, and you'll see it's a little dinged up because it is a working model. And we don't create these things for beauty and perfectness. I mean, that actually was carried around from room to room and place to place, and we leaned on it and poked on it and all that stuff because that was what we needed to get this show on the road. But the other thing is, did everybody see the Ursula scene over here? This is amazing. This was from the scene from our 1-inch model. So we start with a 1/4-inch model, get it all done in kind of a small size. Then we go to a 1-inch per foot model. So every inch in that scene is actually 1 foot. So when you look at that, Ursula's lair, which that scene represents, like I said, is from the model. That's actually scene 6. This is when you first get to see Ursula. The attraction goes into blacklight at that point because it's perfect. Ursula is there. I know, it's kind of scary. And of course, she gets to sing. Who knows? For unfortunate. So, she's, I won't do it. But anyway, she's in there in black and white. If you look again with that 1-inch to 1 foot scale in mind, she's a big girl. She's like 12 feet wide and like 8 feet tall when you go to see her in person in this attraction. And she's going to be waiting for you, and she's going to be singing for you. So that model, again, was part of our inspiration. And when you see it in little scale, then you're probably going to be right along with us, excited to actually be able to go undersea and experience Ariel and all of her friends. So again, I invite you to look at a lot of these drawings. And actually we have a piece of art glass, which is a sample, and that art glass is part of our marquee. So when you go into the dome that's still there, that we kept from the old attraction and built our building onto, it's instead of just a regular marquee that lights up and is steel or whatever, it's actually art glass that's custom made, and that's a little piece of what it's going to look like. And again, why? Because it looks like sea glass. It evokes kind of that beautiful, kind of dainty but sturdy kind of feel. And again, it's all about color. It's all about light. Light coming through the water, light coming through the glass. So that's why we made that decision to use that glass for the marquee. Have fun. Come back definitely. Take your time, spend it around here. Look at this fantastic map too, because there are lots of things that you'll catch. You have to watch it for a little while, and I won't say what. But anyway, I'm just really glad that you're here. I cannot wait for all of you to come back too and go through this attraction, and I want to hear from every one of you about how you like it as well. So thank you, and
Lisa, thank you so very much. Thank you very, very much.